Yeah. I think we can put a whole one together. All right.
Worthless street rat.
You're in big trouble, though, pal. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
What? Okay!
All right, it is Friday, and you know what that is. That means it's time for the Somewhat Tipsy podcast.
You're very excited today.
I am. I renewed energy, I would say.
From what?
I don't know. I think I see some big changes coming in our industry, and I'm
Happy about that?
I'm excited for the change, I guess.
All right.
And I think it really all depends on if this Hooters thing is going to work.
I think there's a lot of changes coming up.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
And with all the breaking Hooters news, I was like, we got to bring Kayla back on the show. She led us into a lot of how the business was run and how they do a lot of the how they deal with the staff and, stuff like that. And what has happened in the news recently is the founders of Hooters. It was, I think, 6 or 7 guys in Clearwater Beach that wanted to have a beach bar. And Hooters of America declared bankruptcy. So the original founders bought Hooters back.
What did they buy it back for?
I didn't see the price, so I don't know if they put that out publicly yet.
That'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah. I think it's still probably high millions.
So you think are they gonna keep the restaurant and the way they go it? Are they going full nun outfits and
So not nun outfits, but what they're doing is going back to that 80s vibe. And I think that the belly shirts, so it's not as revealing.
the white tank top shirts?
The white, not the tank tops. They had the shirts, but it kind of cut off like right here. See, it's a belly shirt. And then they're going with the baggier orange pants, the shorts. So it's not as revealing as it is now.
So they're going more family friendly?
They are. They're going family friendly restaurant, but they're going in a mom and pop style way. The way they're doing the food.
Okay, mom and pop style. What do you mean?
They're going back to hand breaded wings. They're going to be making their salad dressings in house.
Are they going to do you put your order and you throw it across the room?
I don't know
that one.
I do.
Do you remember that one here? You put in the order, they put on a clip, and they slide it to the kitchen.
I missed that. I remember that when I was young when that was happening.
Yes, it was a couple years ago.
But with all these changes, Kayla, have you heard anything on, the server and the bartender end?
Yeah, so I heard that, like, with them filing, like, bankruptcy and stuff like that, like, a lot of, like, the corporate companies are going more towards, like, a franchise, I guess, and that's, like, how they got bought out, and they can still stay as a Hooters. But I know a lot of the girls were saying how they don't like that we don't have the shorter shorts anymore, and so it's going back to, like, the longer shorts, more like the volleyball style shorts. And then basically everybody got a whole new uniform. So everything that, like, you bought before, like, they got bought out again, you can't have that. You can't wear that. So you got a whole complete, like, different uniform. They just got, like, a whole bunch of new training and stuff like that on, like, the menu, and, like, they got new drink items and stuff like that. Is, like, from what I know. But mainly it's just, like, to talk about, like, the uniform.
Yeah.
And they're kind of being, like, a little bit, like, more strict on, like, if it's slow, you can't sit down and shit like that.
That's smart. I think that, the time to lean, time to clean comes into play. But
yeah,
I think it's got to go more events. I'm a big event guy, and I really think that they got to do events. Do you remember the Hooters calendars? They used to, I know they still do the Hooters calendar, but they had the Hooters bikini contest out in the parking lots at a lot of them. Yeah. They used to do
Yeah, they took away like the parking lot bikini contest, and basically like it's like Twin Peaks. You'll like submit your photos and everything in there, and then they'll pick you from there. And then if you make it, then they'll fly you out. I want to say to like Tallahassee, if that's what I heard. Like Tallahassee, you'll go down to like Tallahassee to do like the whole. It's Tallahassee or Jacksonville, one of the two, and then you'll do like the whole like pageant, like Hooters pageant down there. And then you can do like the international ones and stuff like that. Yeah.
So how are the girls taking the change? I mean, are they forcing them to buy the new uniforms, or are they, being nice and giving the uniforms out?
They're being nice and like providing them for them. I think the girls they're fine with it. I think at first when like all the shutdowns were happening, because like the girls they just came into work and then the managers are like, oh, go home, like we're shut down. So like nobody knew in advance that like which locations were going to get shut down. It was just like, oh, I came to work and I got fired today because we're no longer in business.
Daytona stayed.
I don't think Daytona's going anywhere.
Daytona's did it. Daytona's got bought out by like a different company, so they're fine. But Wing House did shut down on International, which is fine. It was bound to happen anyway, so it's fine.
Now, I wonder if, because there was two Hooters. There was Hooters of America, and then there was Hooters, because there was like one wore the black shirts, and then the other, it was like different franchisees, but there was one Hooters and one Hooters of America, and I guess Hooters of America is the one that was bought out by the original owners of Hooters, but I don't know if that other Hooters company is part of this, or they're still completely separate.
No, like so the franchises are completely separate from like the corporate ones.
So they can do their own thing.
Like the one, yeah. So like the one I worked at here in like Denver the first time, that was a franchise. So like we had like completely different like rules and stuff like that than like the one that I worked at in Daytona. Like so like the franchises are a little bit like more like lenient and everything, and they're not as strict as like the corporate ones. And then the one in Daytona was corporate, and then got bought out by somebody else.
Now, I wonder if those franchises, if they'll let them still operate the way they are, or if they're going to make them conform to
I think you have
the
to make,
rules.
I think you're going to have to make them conform, because if not, you're going to go into one Hooters and they're going to be wearing short shorts and football jerseys and have non-breaded wings, and you're going to go to this one, they're going to be original this and this. So if it's got the name Hooters, it's kind of got to be the same.
I would think
like
so.
the food and stuff will stay consistent, and like the outfits and stuff like that. Well, actually, it's kind of different, I guess. Well, the food will stay the same. Like the food and drinks will stay the same. Like the Hooters I worked out here in Denver, we never wore the black uniforms. Like it was strictly like white top, like the white tank top, shorts, and stuff like that. And then and then you can like if you wanted a football jersey, you can buy a football jersey and wear that. Whereas in Daytona, it was like Sunday through Thursday. It was the white tank tops and then the orange shorts, and then Fridays was like all black. So there's and then like on Sundays or like not even on Sundays, like any day, like Sunday through
Monday,
Thursday, you can wear like the crop top if you have it.
Okay.
Or like
So they still allowed the crop top sometimes before all this, all the change.
Yeah. Yeah, but before all of this changed too, I mean, they were talking about becoming more modest and like not doing like as short of the shorts and like going back to like what they call like their retro shorts, I guess.
Yeah.
So what like they call it. And so like back to like what they began with, because they were saying like they were fighting so hard to compete with Twin Peaks and like Wing House and stuff like that. And that's why they went to like the more like sluttier outfits, I guess. And then so like now they're like, okay, we're gonna go back to like our old ways and like what Hooters is and like make it more family friendly.
Now, I was on the phone with one of my friends earlier today, and she no longer works at Hooters, but did before. And I was asking about the crop top, and she said she's not a fan of the crop top because she said one of the most insecure thing that girls are insecure about is their belly. And she said she's like, I'll have my tits hang out all day, but I don't like my belly hanging out or like being shown. And I was like, huh. I wonder if that could just be her, like a personal preference, or I wonder
I think it's a personal. Yeah, I think it's a personal preference because like I didn't mind wearing the crop tops and stuff like that. So I think it's just a personal preference, and like they don't like fit everybody the same, you know. and like the shorts don't fit everybody the same.
And this family friendly, honestly, I think this is going to be huge if this
You think
works.
this is going to change for them? Family friendly. You get some longer shorts, maybe a crop top shirt. You think people are going to come flying in the door?
Think about
I don't
this.
think.
I'm sorry, I just don't think so.
Everybody.
I don't think so either.
Well, you're thinking of it like a bar. Think of it like a restaurant. It seems like they want to be more of a restaurant than they do a bar. Because what they're doing now, they can think of the
But
food.
that's all going to be about food specials and all you can eat wings on Friday and boneless Thursdays and 2-for-1 this happy hour. They're going to have to do that if they want to compete with everything else.
You're missing the one big thing that I think is going to be such a plus for Hooters. Hand breading the wings, not having the wings already pre-breaded and throwing them out of a bag into a fryer. Hand breading.
You really think that's going to turn this thing around and everyone's going to come back in for hand-breaded wings?
So hand-breaded wings, the actually fresh chopped salads, the homemade ingredients. So people like
You're going back there, but no one else is.
mom and pop restaurants are very popular. They are.
But Hooters isn't a mom and pop
It's not a mom
restaurant.
and
Like
pop.
mom and pop restaurants are like very popular because you have that like love and you like can feel like everything that they put into that.
a
But
cheer-
Hooters,
it's
you're
a
like,
Cheers
okay,
bar.
it's just-
Yeah, but
It's a Cheers
Yeah.
restaurant.
the bar,
Cheers bar.
the bar industry is declining. People are not drinking like they used to. I mean, alcohol, we said it last week. Alcohol consumption is at the lowest it's ever been. For the youngest generation, it's not even cool to drink. So you got to do something else. If you can't pull a huge bar crowd, you got to do something else. And making good food in a family-friendly environment will generate revenue.
I just don't see. I don't still see how you put the word family friendly and Hooters in the same sentence.
I know, it makes no sense.
And then you're going to go a little bit longer shorts and some crop top shirts and call it family friendly. I feel like it's not enough. What do? Kids eat free Mondays?
No, you don't have to do the crazy.
All you can eat wing Wednesdays.
They used to have all you can eat wings and then they took it away and then they did the buy one get one like buy one get one
50-cent
free.
wings Sundays. I mean, like, what's really going to bring the people in? They want a special. The outfits changing, I don't think is going to draw people in. The hand-breaded wings, all right, I think it'll draw a few. I'll give you credit. I think a handful of people like you might go, and I could care less.
I don't think the uniform change is going to bring. I don't think it's going to draw people. It's not going to draw money. I don't think they want it to. I think they want that Hooters girl because the Hooters girl is such an iconic thing in this country.
Wouldn't you
I
say?
feel like it's an iconic thing, but a lot of people lost what like the meaning to like of a Hooters girl is. You know, like I think that they think like they like the title of like, oh, I'm a Hooters girl, but then like they don't have that like girl next door vibe. Like they don't like get ready like the girl like they did before. You
They
know, and they don't
changed
have
that
that like
years ago.
charming personality.
What do you think?
Do you remember it was like I hate to say this, and I never worked there, but it was like an honor to work there. They didn't just select anybody. Like you had to look the
Yeah,
part,
like,
and you had to have
had to like
certain
fit
quality.
the uniform.
Right.
Yeah.
Now they hire girls that may not fit the part. You know, piercings or tattoos. Maybe they still have to cover them up, and the girl that's maybe not as well endowed here. I just don't think it's the same. I think what they hired and what they originally had in the 80s and 90s, and it was almost like you almost had to be honored or had to try out basically to be a Hooters girl. And now they just hire anybody.
But are they going
That's what I
back
feel
to
too.
that
That's why.
honor?
But that's what I was getting at too. Like I feel like the meaning of being a Hooters girl has been like lost along the way. Like he said, like they just hire anybody and everybody,
Like
and then
Victoria's.
like you don't have like that charm and charisma that like you should. And it's just like, okay, I'm just another server. It's fine. Or like I'm
Victoria's
another
Secret
bartender.
models. Remember back in the 80s was to be a Victoria's Secret model, you were elite of the elite.
Well, you still got to be.
But I guess they went in a different direction. They started getting larger women on there, and they went to the larger, demographics and this. So the ambiance of being a Victoria's Secret model changed. I think the same thing happened for Hooters. The aspect of who they hired changed, so it's not at the same ambiance anymore.
But is this bringing
like-
it back? Are they going
I don't
back
think
to
they-
that
I think
selective
if they go
hiring?
back, I think if they go back to like the strict way that they were hiring and everything, I think that it will go back to what it was. But I think if it continues this way, then I think it's just going to end up like Wing House, which is like sucks to say, but
I agree with you, but I think they go back.
What makes Twin Peaks so different? Let's look at what made Twin Peaks more popular or them? What made Twin Peaks different? And I'll give you credit on the food.
The same thing.
No, it's not.
I mean,
I think Twin Peaks was a competition. Like everybody was hungry. Like everybody wanted to be that top girl, and so they were working their hardest, and like they were like looking their best, and they didn't like just come rolling out of bed. You know, like they looked their best. They like put all their effort in, like to like get the highest sales and stuff like that because they wanted to be that top dog.
I think Twin Peaks went more towards the food. I think of Twin Peaks more of your restaurant than more of your alcohol.
really.
Yes.
See, I disagree.
I go there for the cold beer.
I think Twin Peaks is a bar. I mean, they have food. But I think
Hooters is a bar too.
it is. Well, it was.
Now it's a restaurant.
It will be.
It's the same though. The bar is actually smaller at most Hooters than it is at Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks has a bigger bar layout. At least the 3 or 4 Twin Peaks I've been to has a large bar. And we're talking 7, 8 bartenders work behind
Because it's a bar.
it. But you go to the Daytona one, it's got maybe 2 people behind the bar.
Yeah. Well, I would think it's got to be business. There's just not enough clientele going in to have 4 or 5 bartenders behind the bar because you're just not busy enough.
I think if I go in, wouldn't you rather sit at the bar with a girl than sit at a table?
Yeah.
I go to the bar most time. If there's 1 or 2, I'd rather go to the bar. If there's 4, 5, 6, you get a table.
I feel like it depends on the situation.
Yeah, I agree. Because,
Like if I'm
sometimes
just
I
going
will.
for like drinks, if I'm just going for drinks, obviously I'll sit at the bar. But if I'm like having like, if I'm on a date and we're like at dinner, like obviously I want to sit at a table. I don't want to sit at the bar because then I'm gonna like have to like turn my like neck and be like, hello.
Can I ask you a personal question? Who is taking you on a date to Twin Peaks? That's a red flag right there, girl. If anybody says we're going on a date to Twin Peaks, that's a red flag. You're a steak and lobster girl. Come on, you know this.
I am a steak and lobster.
Steak and lobster
I'm a
girl.
sushi person, but
There you go. Taking a date to sushi, not to Twin Peaks. I would hope that'd be red flag number 1. If I'm like, hey girl, we're going to Twin Peaks on our first date.
But now, does this
did-
make Hooters a date?
Huh?
Does this make Hooters a date spot?
No. Dude, I'm sorry. I think they're just trying to grasp onto something to change. They know they need to change, but I don't think it's a big enough change that people are going to come in. I just don't. I have no need to go check it out because their shorts are, for me, are not getting any different. They're going to go belly shirts and they're going to pre-breaded wings. Okay.
well, they took the belly shirts away, so it's just gonna be the tank tops.
I thought I thought it was only going belly shirts. Did they go to so with this new Hooters, is it going to be tank tops or is it going to be belly shirts?
I was like, from my friends that still work there, like I heard it was tank tops,
Okay.
and the longer shorts.
Take top.
But don't
longer
quote
shorts
me on
and
that
breaded wings.
because
Because I know the early, the 80s and 90s when Hooters first came out, it was the longer shorts and it was the crop tops. That was the original.
I don't remember the crop tops.
Yeah, that was the original Hooters
They
uniform.
had the wife beater shirts on all the way down, tucked in.
I think that started in the mid 90s.
yeah, so they're going back to like the mid '90s. Like when they first
They're going to
opened, it
mid-90s.
was like kind of like a loose. I think it was like a loose like crop top,
It was.
and then it was like
That's
these like retro poofy kind of looking shorts.
Yeah,
that
they were
like,
they were
shiny.
kind of shiny but poofy
Yeah.
shorts.
They need to go back to the 90s. Take some of their prices back to the 90s for a day or two. Take the looks back to the 90s. Maybe
I think it would be cool if they did like a blast from the past, like
a
Hooters Day, and then
90s
just,
DJ,
like,
a 90s DJ in there every Friday playing 90s music. Something like that I think will get people back. But
You're thinking like a bar. They're thinking like a restaurant.
it's the same thing.
No, it is not. It is
Same
so
thing.
very different. So very different.
bars
for
and
them,
bars,
it's the
definitely
same
bars
thing.
and restaurants are two completely different things.
Yes.
Like
100%.
I'm not getting plastered at a restaurant on a Friday night at midnight, you know?
No,
But I'm not going to Hooters at midnight. They close at 11, 12 o'clock.
I don't do. Do they close early? I
I don't know many Hooters that open
They
until 2.
close at like actually I don't remember.
It was like it's like
It was
10 during the week and 11 on the weekends, or 11 during the week and 12 on the weekends.
yeah.
So
11 on the week, 11 during the week, and then 12 on the weekends.
12 on the weekends. Okay,
Unless it's and if it's a fight night, then we'll stay all the way until like the fight is over.
that's smart. You can't. Don't want to kick out the fight crowd. But think about this: being a restaurant and not so bar centric. Being a restaurant, hand making your salad dressings, hand making your wing sauce, hand breading your wings, being family friendly. what it's going to happen is these mom and pops that are out there now, so many mom and pops. If this works for Hooters, follow Applebee's, all of them in this going back to the hand making your food and not just taking it out of a bag and cooking it. If it works for Hooters, Applebee's is going to do it. Fridays is going to do it. All these corporations are going to do it. Because you know why? Mom and pops right now are struggling at a 3 to 5% profit margin. And if you own one restaurant, you can't live off of that. If you buy a restaurant, you're only getting 3 to 5%. You basically bought yourself a job. You didn't buy yourself a business. But you know who can afford to work at 3 to 5% profit margin? A corporation that has 50 of them. You'll still do
You can
well.
make $10,000 a month at 50 of them.
Yeah. The mom and pops are now there will be, some mom and pops that do really well. Like there's one around here, the Garlic, they'll probably be fine. They offer something different. But if you're just for a family going out to dinner, the mom and pops, if you don't own 4 or 5 of them, you're buying yourself a job to make 150 grand a year as an owner. And when all these corporations change, that's going to be bad for the mom and pops that are there now, if they're just standalone restaurants, unless they have that special something, but a lot of them don't. Only a few do. Only a few mom and pop restaurants are doing so well that you cannot touch them. Most are struggling. And that is something we talked about. Stir Hospitality, restaurant consulting company, one of the best in the country. What they are doing right now is helping these mom and pops get their things in order to where they are making a profit. You are efficient, but you still hold on to those core values of the company. And then they're scaling you to expand. And that's, you go with a consultant and you go with a company like a Stir Hospitality that can get you out. Because I think we're 5 years down the line for really this change to happen, if it works. But for this change to happen, you have to be looking forward to the future. You have to look, do I need to expand to survive? Not expand to make more, but do I need to expand to survive? And I think that's where we're going if this works.
I think it's about customer service too.
Oh, it is. See, what they'll do, they'll get smaller locations, less seats. This is going to be very important for these corporations coming in. Less seats. You want a 45-hour wait every day if you can. Less seats is less staff. That's less money going out. Is it less revenue? Yes, it is less revenue, but it is still more bottom line profit in your pocket.
Right. By having 90 seats rather than 190 seats. Mm-hmm. You might only do 10 grand instead of 20 grand, but you're going to make 2 grand.
You're going to make double what you work.
$500. Right.
Yeah. And I think that's the big change that we're going to see. There will still be bars. Bars are going to be bars, and bars will be successful. But with this change and people not drinking as much, there's just going to be less of them. Oh, we lost her. Well, we might get Kayla back. I know she did have to go at 7 o'clock. We were running about 7:06. We ran a little late today, but that's okay.
I don't know, man. I mean, I wish Hooters the best. I hope it works out. I mean, I'll definitely go check it out. But I'm really big on the event world, and I think the event things is what's going to save it.
Not a restaurant. An event thing is going to save bars. And restaurants are going to need to do events. It's not like it's not going to happen, but bringing good quality food. Because remember, in the late 90s, early 2000s, before they made that switch to stuff coming out of a bag, the Applebee's, the Fridays had good food. And then when they switched to this more efficient, because their restaurants were so big, they were dealing with so many different, large scale operations, that they had to be fast. They had to be efficient. And it was cheaper to be fast and efficient. Now it's going to come back to where they're making everything in-house. Well, that's the difference. That's why you go to a mom and pop. You're getting better quality food. Now, if all the corporate companies are going to be giving that same quality food,
What's it going to do to the prices?
See, a corporate company doesn't have to, if your rent's getting jacked up or your mortgage is this much, your food cost, you have to keep your costs low to make up for that. A corporation won't feel it as much because there's so many of them. You got a standalone restaurant where you want to make 15 to 20% to make your nut, to make what you want to make for your living. A corporation only needs 3 to 5%. So they don't have to raise the prices as much. They can be fairly priced and very profitable. Now, a standalone restaurant can do that too, but you're going to need to have 4 or 5 of them. And, I think if you want to get to that point, you're going to have to call a Stir Hospitality or a company like that to come in to get you to the point where you can scale and expand. Expansion, expand, less seats. That is less staff, that is less money going out, lower revenue, higher return. I think that is where it needs to go.
But most of the profits are at a bar.
That's not true.
A lot more. You profit more at a bar than
You do.
at a
Oh,
restaurant.
you make more money off of an alcoholic drink than you do selling food.
And as far as staffing too. 2 bartenders can do $2,000 in a night where 2 bartenders, 2 servers, 2 guys in the kitchen and does a $4,000 night, it's still cheaper.
Yeah. But the people are less and less going to bars. It's dwindling. Just think about it. Just look at how busy places used to be. Now, granted, there are more out there. There are more bars and restaurants than we know what to do with. That doesn't help. But the fact that people just aren't drinking like they used to.
Because I think you have to give them a reason to. You have to give them a cheer. I think the cheers is what needs to come back. Where everybody knows your name. It's your down-home bar. It's where you go. It's what you do. They made that thing. Now there's so many bars, so many options.
Yeah.
There's really not amazing customer service everywhere you go.
No, less seats will fix that.
Right.
But the customer service, needs to improve.
You think about a bar that has 2 bartenders working on a Friday, let's say. That's $3,500. Your staff is next to nothing, even if you have a manager there.
Yeah.
A manager and 2 bartenders, your staff is very low. Even a security guy.
Yeah.
But then you have a place that has 2 bartenders, 2 servers, 2 in the kitchen, a hostess, 2 managers. It's a lot harder to profit from that.
It is.
And especially with the options and the customer service and everything. So
I think
I'm going to say as Hooters, I think it's going to have a difficult time if that's what they're leaning towards, is that's what it is.
I think their hardest thing is going to be how are they going to be able to convince families to come into Hooters? How are they going to get past that perception?
But a girl with a little bit more clothing on or a little bit baggier pants is not going to make a wife say, honey, let's go there now.
No.
Or
but the
honey,
better food might.
Let's take Susie and little Tony to Hooters now because they bred their wings.
So say it doesn't work for Hooters, but Applebee's decides.
Maybe. Now that I could kind of see.
All right, so Applebee's decides to go to this mom and pop. People will go to Applebee's. And I think they would go in droves if they knew they were getting food, especially if they could do the high quality food at a lower price. And being a corporation, they could. It's scary.
I guess we'll see where it's going to be.
Yeah. But, where does it go? But I think we're in for a big switch. And I think it's 5 to 7 years down the line. But restaurants and bars are going to be completely different. And maybe the bars might not be different. They're still going to be doing events. Restaurants will still be doing events. Bar-wise, there will just be less of them. There's too many bars.
I hear about more restaurants closing than bars closing. Full-on bars. Like, consider a bar.
Well, bars are just getting out of their high. So Corona, Dive Bar, was making the money. From Corona till right now, you're just starting to see that slow. If you're a dive bar, and please put it in the comments if I'm wrong, if your dive bar is still killing it. But I bet that dive bar their profit margin has dipped a little bit compared to 2020 to 2024. This is the year that the bars are starting to slip. They're coming off their high. This business goes in waves.
Goes in waves.
But now,
especially seasonal waves and everything else. Right now, beach side slower than mainland side.
Yeah.
March, April, beach side will be busier than mainland side. It goes back and forth all the time.
Oh, yeah, but I'm talking your year end. Pull, dive bar. Please let us know in the comments if you own a dive bar. Has your dive bar profit margin slipped a little from the past 4 years? And I guarantee you most of them have slipped a little. They are just coming off their high. Dive bars is where everybody wanted to go.
If you had the money to open up something, whatever it is, would you open up a dive bar, restaurant, high end, low end, hot dog stand? If you had your choice to open up anything, you got $1 million that you can go do this with, what would you open up?
An 85-seat restaurant.
With alcohol?
Oh, yeah. You have to have alcohol.
4 COP or a SRX?
SRX.
Okay, so 50-50 food, 50-50 liquor.
Yep.
And you'd open up a 90, 100-seat restaurant.
I'd probably try and keep it under 90.
Under 90.
And above 70.
And your food?
It wouldn't be high end. It would be...
Give me some examples. Are you talking chicken tenders and lettuce wraps? Or are we talking sushi? What would you pick if you had it?
Me, I would not pick sushi, but that's just because that's not my forte.
Would you go?
My 25 years doesn't...
Would you go more specified, like a ramen noodle bar or a sushi bar? I know you just said not sushi, but or a burger bar? Would you just keep it open?
Upscale American Grill.
Okay.
Upscale American Grill.
Under 90 seats, SRX license, so 50% food, 50% liquor.
It would probably be a 60-40 split. Probably 60 food, 40 liquor.
Okay. Kitchen. How big?
Not big. I don't want a ton of staff. You can't. You
want
got to lower
enough for 2 or 3 people in the kitchen.
3.
3 in the kitchen.
I think with 3, it's
How
solid.
many people behind your bar?
Hopefully 2.
2 at all time. Not at all time, but up to 2.
Yeah.
And then servers with 90 seats, 5, 6.
I'd give them 5 tables apiece. So
10 servers
depending.
or more.
Yeah.
Depends on how many you got and time and everything.
But that,
American style food. Burgers, chicken sandwiches, chicken tenders.
but good quality food.
Handmade.
Now, I'm not talking Wagyu beef.
So you spend your money on the kitchen and the chef more than you spend your money on the bar and the food.
Yep.
So how many? We have an array of tequilas and vodkas, or are you having 4 or 5?
I think that is going to be based on your location.
So you may have
And your location means a lot with this. Location means a ton. What is the median household income around you? What is that town looking for? Because every town's looking for something.
I know towns that are looking for a nightclub.
Yeah.
I say if you open up a nightclub only in this so-called said town, you could be profitable.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of college towns that don't really have a nightclub. Not saying let's go open up a nightclub.
But there are towns that want it back.
They want a nightclub back. And there's some towns that want a Hooters back, a Hooters style place. There's some that want more of a lounge. Yeah. So I think you have to look at location and where you're at. And I don't mean to keep going back to Hooters, but Hooters is just looking overall. Look at each area. What's going to work for Daytona Hooters? You can still stay in the same realm.
Yep.
What's going to work for Daytona Hooters, Port Orange Hooters, let's say, and Denver Hooters? I think they're all 3 different.
They are.
Maybe not Port Orange, Daytona, but let's say Daytona, Miami, and Denver, okay?
Yeah.
What would be the 3 differences? I would look at each location. What works there? Is that more of a food state or a drinking city? More of a drinking city or a food city? Where are my profits? Where are my margins at? Liquor costs different in everywhere you go. I can make a much more liquor in Denver than I can in Florida. So let's partially a little bit more. And there's a college town in Denver, so let's partially a little bit more on the liquor and the specials and Denver College around the corner.
Yeah.
Where Daytona, I'm going to do a little bit more food, family friendly, and some events. Where Miami, we're all touristy, so I'm just going to do this. So, but you still stay within the triangle realm.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to adjust a little, and I don't know if they're going to be adjusting a little because it's corporate. You usually stick to your base plan. But when you're setting up a base, that many restaurants, and it has to be the same to be corporate.
Do they hire guys?
No. I mean, in the kitchen.
Don't hire guy servers?
No.
I mean, you want to be family friendly. What's wrong with the guy server?
You're still Hooters.
Okay.
You're still Hooters. You are still.
I'm not for this. I'm just saying, you want to go family friendly, then guys can be servers too.
They could, but it doesn't fit the brand. You still have the brand.
But they didn't do their
female.
brand years ago. They changed their brand. I'm just going to come out and say it, man. They changed their brand about 10, 15, 20 years ago when they started hiring anybody.
Yeah.
They hired certain looking girls. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It was usually blondes, skinny, big boobs.
Yeah.
That's what they hired.
Who was going to be the most appealing to the
most
masses?
appealing to the eye attractive. Yes,
Yeah, to the masses.
I'm not saying they didn't hire redheads or brunettes, but it was that blonde hair, blue eyed type girl that they looked for.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying they wasn't have brown hair, they didn't have red hair, but that was the style they went for about 15, 20 years ago. About, I would say 10, 15 years ago, they started hiring anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
They got, well,
They started hiring any style. They went away from that blonde hair, blue eyed American girls type thing, and they just started hiring anybody that would work. So they did it to themselves, I slightly think. So, but if you're going family friendly, you can't go back to what that was. What are you gonna do? Fire the girl with black hair?
that's going to be tough.
Are you
It's going to be a legal
Are you
thing.
gonna fire the girl that has tattoos? You hired her a year ago and they allowed it, but now you're not going to.
You close for a month and reboot.
I don't think you can do that. I mean, yes,
Yeah,
you
legally
can.
you could.
Legally you can, but I don't think that works.
No, I don't think it works. but
Nobody's just
legally
going
you could do
to
it.
legally you can do it, but that doesn't work for the restaurant. They're going to try to make all these changes still open.
Yeah, and that's going to be tough. There's going to be a lot of growing pains.
I mean, there's no maybe it should interior be a difference?
Oh, they are. They're redoing the interior. They're going back to that beach bar vibe.
The surfboards on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Still show the fights?
I don't know.
You brought up the fights earlier. Do you still
Yeah.
show the fights? Like who?
I would.
I don't know if I would.
I mean, I don't like showing the fights to begin with because it just there's a lot of risk in showing the fights. When you're watching a fight, people tend to get violent.
And they sit at a table. And I'm not saying all of them. Most of them, they sit at a table. They all order food once. What you're going to eat. They order a couple of pitchers. And for 4 hours, they tipped, they drank, they ate. I'm not going to say they drank water and didn't do anything. But that table wasn't turned 3 times.
Yeah.
Or twice at least. It was 4 guys or 4 people sitting there, each having a meal for $15.
Yeah.
Each having a pitcher of beer for $10. So you got $85, $90 out of that table that was for 4 hours sat there. Where if you had 3 families in there or 3 couples in there, whatever it was, you could have turned that table over and over again.
So if it were me, if I was,
Would you do it?
If the fight started and that crowd would come in after, like if it was after 8:00 when my dinner service is pretty much done, sure.
I'd sell tables.
Oh, I'd sell the tables. Yeah.
No, I'd be like $199, 4 people, dinners, pitchers, this is what you
yeah.
do.
I would do that after normal business hours. If you needed to
But
close
those
it all off
fight-
at
those-
6:00, no way. It's not
Those
worth it.
fights start at 6, 7 o'clock, and the main fight is at 10 or 11.
Yeah,
I would say most of the time.
You don't start it during dinner.
Then I think they're done with those.
Yeah, then you don't do it. Because dinner is where you're going to make money. People, like I said, people aren't drinking like they used to. It's not cool to get drunk by the masses. I mean, it's still cool to get drunk. Fuck, I miss being drunk. But it's just not as accepted as it was.
It's the younger generation.
Uh-huh.
When we turned 18, 19, 20, 21, it was time to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's not. These kids are on health kicks. These kids are on
Well.
THC. These kids are on extracurricular activities that they
Fat,
don't really.
drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
Thank you, Joe.
But look at the change in our country. Look at, and we never really get into politics, but it is changing. The younger generation is starting that. A kid just won mayor of New York City at 36 years old. It's changing. That younger generation is starting to come into power.
Well, look, we have a younger mayor in
Edgewater?
Edgewater.
Yeah.
A Hooters girl is running for mayor of Lakeland.
Yep.
It's a younger generation, so.
It is. And
But see, I just don't see it, man. I get the younger generation in our bars, dude. I get them renting out left and right.
oh, yeah.
They're drinking. They're still doing it. They're paying more. You just have to be creative. I think it's all about being creative on what you're doing. I don't slam a bunch of drinks down them. Like, here, all you can drink for this. But they want to. And it's a seltzer world right now, I would say.
People still want to party. It's just not as many. Yeah, you can throw events and you can have frats and sororities and college kids and they're going to party. They're going to do all that. But they're not partying every weekend. They're doing events and they're partying, but they're not going out to the bar every Friday, Saturday, Sunday getting shit-faced. They're just not doing it. They're not drinking as much.
But if you had a 90, 100-person place, they can get them out there each time. I think that's what it is. The bigger clubs, the mega things are falling.
No, because you can't get that many people out that consistently.
But 90, 100, 120 loungy restaurant can make it.
Yeah.
Restaurant that holds 120 people, a nightclub, a lounge that holds 120 people.
Yeah.
It's not hard to put 120 people in there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I only go out Friday, you only go out Saturday, he only goes out Sunday. It's perfect. I only need 119 more people each night to be good.
It's going to get harder. It's going to keep getting harder. Unless this younger generation starts drinking more, the bar industry is going to get harder and harder and harder and harder. And there are ways around it. That's why, I brought up Stir Hospitality earlier. That is something that restaurant and bar consultants like Stir Hospitality does. They come in and they bring you along to the changes to where you're still making a profit and you're not sitting there going, holy shit, what happened? Because you have to adapt. You have to evolve.
And I think that's the biggest thing. You have to adapt and you have to find out what works in your city, your area, your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just because a mega club in Miami did this doesn't mean you should do it. Just because corporate Hooters did this doesn't mean you should do it.
No.
What works for your city, your area, your demographic?
Yep.
Because I think Port Orange and Daytona, two completely separate things.
Every city is different. God, there's even towns that a part of the town is different than this part of the town.
Look at Holly Hill and look at Port Orange. They're 10 miles down the road from each other. Completely different demographics.
Oh, yeah. So different.
Open up a bar, restaurant in Holly Hill or open up a bar, restaurant in Port Orange, completely different.
Well,
completely 100% different.
Yeah. And I think everyone's going to have to go a little bit smaller. And that's more of a Florida thing and probably a California, New York thing.
We got a lot of New Yorkers getting ready to move down here.
Yeah, they were not happy about that 36-year-old. And honestly, if the one guy would have just bowed out of the race, he probably wouldn't have won and Como would have gotten the mayor. But that one guy, he was what's his name, Swirl?
Yeah.
Or something like that. Swirl. But he just stayed in that race and he helped the other guy.
Yeah, he helped it.
He helped him get in office.
Because 20%, 50%, you won it, right?
But
so last week I mentioned something. I want to change something.
You did. Yeah,
I
we got to
did.
talk about this
I'm going to admit right here on air, I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I read something and got some information that was different and it blew up on the podcast that we did and a lot of people called me out and I'm going to admit I was wrong.
Yeah, they did.
We looked more into it. I'm like, okay, I wasn't crazy off, but I wasn't on by any means. So I want to admit that I was completely wrong on how I mentioned it. We did look it up, and let's talk about the right way that Trump did things and how that tax thing goes for the bartenders or for hospitality.
And I don't even know if Trump really had much to do with that part. I think that was more Senate, Congress, all that. It was the lawmakers. But yeah, so when it first came out, they were going to exclude credit card tips, and it was just going to be cash tips, and you had to make a certain amount. All these bills, when they first get introduced, they go through so many rewrites and just, constantly down the pike. And then after doing, the research on it, because, in a podcast, we're just talking. And then, you get talking, you get on a subject you did not even expect to get into, and you're there, and you just go for it. But after looking at it, it's not a bad deal. This no tax on tips isn't a bad deal. So 150, if you can't make more than 150,000 as a single person filing jointly, you can't make more than 300,000. But they will let you deduct up to $25,000 of your tips, however that may be, whether it be cash, credit.
So if I make 90,000, let's go round number. I make 100,000 between cash and credit this year.
Yeah,
I can say I only made 75.
You can deduct
$25,000 off. I make 50, I can deduct 25.
Yep.
I make 150, I can deduct 25.
Yep.
I make 175, I can't deduct anything.
Nope.
So once I hit over 150,
actually, you can deduct a little bit, but yeah, the more you make, the less.
So if I make 400,000, let's just say there'd be not much to deduct.
Not much to deduct. Okay. No.
But so if I made 175, it's not 25. Maybe I can deduct 20. Or 50?
You can deduct some. Okay. It's a sliding scale. But for people that still claim zero, because people still do claim zero. I know when Trump redid the taxing his first term,
people did, but now businesses are taking your credit cards and taxing them.
Well, no, I'm talking about when you hire an employee, how they when they're doing their tax paperwork. You used to just claim zero, so the most amount of taxes was
taken out.
It's an estimate.
I want them taken out though.
Yeah, and a lot of people.
Every bartender did. I want you to take out the most, and then give me back what I can, or I don't want to owe. That was the biggest thing. I don't want to owe. What do? I'm like, I can't tell you what to do, but if you put all zeros, they're going to take out the most.
Well, yeah, that's why, Jenny with 5 kids down the street every February buying a helicopter with her tax refund. I mean,
Did Jenny buy a helicopter?
well, you think, Jenny with 5 kids gets a shit ton of money back. But this will actually you'll get more money back. Or you will get a higher paycheck depending on how you have your taxes set up. But you can either take advantage of this in your paycheck and get an extra probably $20 on your paycheck every week, or you can get that back with your refund that you get anyway. And a lot of people like that lump sum, especially in the restaurant industry. You're going in the beginning of the year and you can start out. That's how they do vacations. That's how they down payments on houses. That tax refund does a lot for the people in our industry. That's why they don't like the new tax plan and all that. No, just take as much from the paycheck because you're just so used to not getting a paycheck, even though you get it now. You want it all taken out. And now you just got, I mean, this is kind of big.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And I apologize for getting the wrong direction or the wrong things, but I got called out
Can
on
I
the
just
podcast.
interject for a second?
Yeah.
That is shit financial advice.
What?
I'm not trying to give people advice on what to do.
No.
I didn't tell anybody what to do.
But, okay.
I'm curious. What did you think we were talking about?
Claiming zero and getting the largest return and making sure that you don't owe is the worst thing that you
But
can
people do. All I said is people do it.
I didn't say that's what they do.
I don't do it, but people do it.
That is the most
Yeah.
horrible thing that you can possibly do.
People in the restaurant industry love to claim zero because they like getting that check. And you lose out on more money. You could make more money if you just filed right and got your money on your paycheck. But that lump sum means so much. That's vacations for a lot of people. They would rather risk, not getting as much, but getting that lump sum. So
that lump sum is already your money.
yeah,
And
it
it's
is.
money that you loan to the government interest-free all year long.
Yeah. And because so many people live above their means, because not no one, but a lot of people don't know how to live below their means. Everyone needs that Chanel purse thing. You know what I'm saying?
Did you get a Chanel purse?
I got 3.
Makes sense.
Everyone wants the nice car. Everyone wants the nice purse. You look at a generation now that'll buy a Louis Vuitton once every 6 months, to where the generation before would buy a new purse every 4 years. It's just people want the nicest stuff. They can't live within their means because they're living paycheck to paycheck. Oh, well, I can afford it because nothing will ever happen. Then I make $700 a week and that's only going to cost me $500 a week. I can do it. But they're broke every paycheck because they're living above their means. The generation before us,
They're not working hard enough.
and I'm saying our generation does that stupid shit. The generation before us would actually save their money, and they didn't live above their means. They had that nest egg.
But in our generation we had the option to. Back then there wasn't as many options.
You're right. There wasn't.
There wasn't many dealerships. There wasn't as many car brands and stuff like that. They started coming out later with more brands, more high end and low ends, and there wasn't many options. You had A or B. Now you have A through K that you can choose from.
Yeah, and now
a station wagon or a Monte Carlo. That's all you got.
I love the Monte Carlos.
You do with that little with the trunk end.
Yeah. And then, I think we're just in for a huge change. There's so much changing. It's not just in the restaurant industry, but, we've talked about AI. We almost had a full episode about AI. I think it was a full episode about AI. But
Did you see it? I don't want to say false, but I read something where they're not going to let AI give you legal advice or medical advice.
they shouldn't.
They're going to start taking that out, or you ask, no legal or medical advice.
Yeah, they really should.
Well, they've already caught AI backing up people's decisions to stop taking their medication without a doctor's advice.
Yeah.
That's why they're getting rid of that.
Right. So if you ask it, I'm sick, what should I do? They're basically not going to tell you. Which I think is smart. I think it's great.
Just because of the way AI gets its information, it's not delivering the best answer to you. It's delivering the most logical answer it could find.
Right.
Yep.
And logical isn't sometimes always the right answer.
No.
Right. It has no morals whatsoever.
Uh-uh.
Right.
And did you see Bill Gates? Because he's big into the AI. Like he's got a lot of money in there. Bill Gates was so big on clean energy, right? That was his big thing. Global warming. He just, I think it was like a week ago. He's like, well, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be. You know why? He's so into AI, right? So these data centers, like in Virginia, it has one of the biggest data centers in the country and maybe the world. It takes 1/5 of the energy Virginia produces to run that data center. He doesn't want green energy because green energy can't keep up with these data centers. It can't produce enough energy. So they're going to have to go back to nuclear. They're going to have to go back to fossil. If you want AI to work, you're going to have to give it fuel.
You know where the energy goes?
In the data center.
Doing what job?
The AI just processes.
Mining for Bitcoin.
No?
Cooling.
Oh, that's right. It cools
All
it.
that energy
all
goes
the
into
heat.
cooling.
Yeah, it's got to cool it.
Remember they were fighting over Greenland?
Yep.
Now no one's talking about it?
Yeah.
That's where they're putting all the data centers.
Because it's cold. Yeah. But think about all the data centers going into the US. What's going to happen? They're going to be piggybacking off of the power plants that run households, and you're going to get a bad storm, and you're just going to have rolling blackouts. And the states are so money hungry that instead of forcing the people that are building the data centers into providing their own power, they're going, we'll sell you ours. We'll sell you ours. We'll sell you ours. And they're going to overload the system, and people's homes aren't going to have power. And this is probably like 3 years away, if not sooner. Crazy. And the president has come out, and people can say what they want about Trump, but he's like, look, states, make them do their own power. Like he wants AI, he wants the technical innovation. He's like, don't take the power from the houses. And some of the states are like, nah, we'll take the money. Yeah, we'll give you our power. And then if the state, if the state votes against it, then they'll sell their power to the state next door for the data centers. It's insane. And we are in for such a shift, and a new generation is starting to take over the powers that be, and the old guard's still really trying to hang on. But I think we were talking about this in a text. I think the 1980 to 1990, the people born in that 10 years were born in a shift of power, a shift of generational power. That's why the people in that age group are a little different than most. They're kind of in the middle. They agree with this, but they also agree with this. Right now, we are in a generational shift. The people that are born from 2025 to 2035, when they're in their 40s and 50s, are going to be a little bit different than everybody else around them, because they're going to get information from both sides. And it's a big shift. We're going to see it in everything that we do.
That's a really wild point.
Yeah. I didn't even take a gummy today.
Oh, thank you, baby Jesus.
But we're here. We are here in a generational shift. So buckle up and let's get ready and have some fun with it, because this AI can be cool. It can do some cool shit. Let's not destroy the environment trying to make it happen. And, let's...
Tell me how you really feel.
I was on one today.
I was on one. You were
I
on
just
one.
a lot, man. Since last night when I was texting y'all.
I know. 3 a.m. you were up.
I did a deep dive into AI, and I was asking it a question. I said, look, I want my business to come up first, because people use AI like a search engine. And I was like, you do SEO to be first on Google, right? I was like, all right, well, how do I be first when people ask you? And then AI gave me a list, and I had to go deeper in, asking some more questions. But it gave me the roadmap and a 9-week plan on how to get it whatever I wanted for AI to say it's the best at this or the best at that.
Are you
You need to break down that plan.
Well, I charge for that.
We could all go ask the same AI.
You could, but you don't know the questions I was asking. But yeah, no, I think...
Are you going to do it for our show?
I think we should. I think we should do it on the show.
Let's do it.
You want to do a whole episode?
I think we should do a whole episode on this deep diving of how to get AI. So
Dumpster diving AI.
I want to hear from all of you. Every one of you, throw it in the comments where you think this is going, what you've seen work, how you think you can get AI to take your business to the next level. How can, when someone asks, what's the best restaurant in this town, how do you get AI to say your place? I know how. Do you? Because it's going to be fun.
I'm ready.
We are going to have some fun with this. And I'm telling you that I've said it a couple times on the show, and I'll say it again. But for restaurant owners that aren't restaurant people, it is evolving, and you are going to need a little bit more than just business savvy. You know, if you're thinking about opening a restaurant, or your restaurant is struggling at 3, 4, 5%, find a reputable company like Stir Hospitality and get in there and get going before this change happens. Get ready so you are on the profitable side of this generational switch that we're about to happen, or about to have happen. And I've been so into that, I didn't even come up with a come on Karen today.
We're skipping come on Karen.
I was really
Who
hoping
needs to come on, Karen? We're
Yeah.
going to drop a bombshell at the end of the episode.
Yeah,
Right.
I think so. I think we're there.
That's your come on Karen.
I'll produce that episode if we get people to like and comment and say they want to see it.
Yeah. So if you want to hear how to get in on this this AI and how to generate your business as part of, AI's search engine, like, share, comment. The more responses we get, Jimmy will produce that episode. So if you want a full hour, we'll go to class together. We'll teach you. Throw it in the comments. Share it. I want to see thousands of comments. Thousands, Jeremy. I want to see thousands of comments. Put it in the bar. Let's do it. Let's get on this episode. Let's change the world.
What's thousands? Do we need 2,000? Do we need 10,000? How
I
many?
think we need 10,000.
We need 10,000
We need
comments.
10,000 comments.
10,000 comments. We'll make that episode.
I'm ready.
Share it.
Let's see it.
I think,
AI roadmap to success. 10,000 comments.
all right. The AI roadmap to success is 10,000 comments in the bar. Just type it in. Hit the comments. Hit it all. We're going big. Ladies and gentlemen, we are